Steven, I don't know if you've heard, but this weekend hundreds of thousands of yens broke a Guinness World Record for most people simultaneously scratching their heads. How does a player with 7 career points receive a contract with an 8-year term? Perhaps a good hunch by Dubas, perhaps too many Yinglings on the Allegheny this weekend. We will find out soon, as we are only 51 days away from the start of the NHL season. Or if your brains are broken like ours, we are Valtteri Filppula and Derek Pouliot days away from the start of the season. As we welcome you to Keystone Hockey Episode 5, had a little bit of a break. We tried to enjoy our summer a little bit, but we're back. We appreciate you joining us. Stephen, it took 5 episodes, but Pittsburgh is leading off the show. I'll
Yeah,
just
with
hand it off to you.
some groundbreaking news, A guy that has 2 goals in his National Hockey League career just got an 8-year deal at $4 million. Um, I'm confused, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I truly like I know Koivunen was the main piece of the Gensel trade, like that was our guy. But after watching his season last year, I mean, 2 goals. Um to get an 8-year deal is very questionable. It's definitely like in a Ryan Graves type contract where I'm like, why? But I mean, at least with Koivunen, I mean, he's young, he still has time. I think he just needs to develop more because watching him last year, like he has a shot, he just doesn't use it as much as you would like. And I think he's just too passive. Like he doesn't get in the dirty areas. He has to start like developing more of that grit side to him. And I feel like with the cap going up, the money won't be as bad as it sounds. Like if he's like, like 40 to 50 point guy, like he's not, the next Crosby. But he's just somebody that, you would want like third line, potentially second line if need be. But I mean, currently the stats he has, the contract he just got that just doesn't add up. But time will tell. I feel like if he has a bounce back season this year and he gets it going, I feel like it won't be as jarring. But like as of right now, it's like whoa, like what are we doing here? Especially seeing that only one other contract in team history. Team's been around for almost 60 years now. Only one guy has gotten a term longer, and it's Crosby, which I think he's earned that. So 12 years for Sid, but then you got Gino for 8 and Letang for 8, and then Ville Koivunen for 8. There's just, the Mount Rushmore of Pittsburgh, and then there's Ville Koivunen. So it's just I don't know. I mean, I feel like time will tell with this one. Currently, it's just I don't know, but we'll see. I mean, Mario Lemieux got 7 years, Ville Koivunen got 8. I don't know.
That I think I from what I know, I think September 16th, the new CBA kicks in where the maximum contract can only be a 7-year term. So my guess is Dubas wanted to get that extra year before the league maximum goes down for contracts, but it's still I hadn't even heard of this guy until you until you sent me the Instagram post with this contract. To be honest with you, um, I don't know. I feel like we've been pretty positive about Dubas's run in Pittsburgh. Now, is this does this feel like his first misstep almost? Does it feel like are you starting to get a little worried, maybe a little pessimistic?
It doesn't seem like a contract he would give. It's just it really compared to everything else that he's done, like it's just besides Ryan Graves, like I said. And I guess Jari at this stage, I don't know, maybe I don't know, maybe I don't know. I feel like it'll be fine. He just has to get it going. Like you can't go into your first year on an 8-year deal and do what you did last year. Like you just can't. You have to show that you put in the work this off season. I'm at 2 goals. I mean, I'm at least 4. I need at least 4 this coming season. But yeah, no, I haven't had a contract that's really like baffled me and confused me like this one. Like I really can't see any contract that I've in my time that I've been like, all right, yeah, why? This one, generally, I woke up, I saw that text, and I was like, oh, all right, they signed him. And then I saw the fine print and said 8 years. I was like, that can't be right. That has to be wrong. And no, that's right. So I'm wishing the best of luck for him, obviously, especially because, if this contract flops, you ain't getting rid of that. I mean, at least like I said, 4 isn't the worst with the cap going up. Like this was like 3, 4 years ago. Well, I'd be a little bit different than how I am right now. But I don't know. I guess we'll see.
That is the thing that's so funny to me is because I think we're so used to seeing $5 million, and you're thinking like your cap is going to be destroyed for like the next 7, 8 years. I don't think the number is going to be that big of a deal, but now, I mean, just looking at like Puckpedia when I pulled it up for this video, like they're now at 10 million. It is a decent amount. You had 14 million before this contract. Now you're at 10 million in cap space. So it does take up a decent portion to where like you could have made like a bigger move. But I know obviously, Carlson, Malkin, Crosby, all expiring contracts at the end of this year. I don't really imagine it's their last year. I think Malkin's the one that's most likely to have his last season this year, and I'm sure like Crosby's going to take some kind of restructure. He's already probably got the best term in the league just for what he does for you. This is it's a confusing one for sure because I mean, do you think I mean, how many like NHL games do you expect him to play? Because I mean, I guess I can pull up the depth chart right now, but um, like, do you see here we got here? I mean, where does so they have him put in at the fourth line right now, which is funny because if you look at the bottom three lines, I mean, you got 5 million for Kuzmenko. Kindle's on his rookie contract. Robertson just got 3.25. Lazat, Dewar. That kind of sticks out like a sore thumb. The 4 million. And it's the first of 8 years. Do you want him playing a fourth line role? Uh, because your
Oh,
fourth line was the best line for you guys last year, from what I understand.
yeah, it was. That time, like Dubas would put, or not Dubas, Muse would put them out to like, in certain situations, they say a goal would get scored, they'd put them out and, spark it. But now Noel's, on the bad side of the state, so I can't really talk about that now. But yeah, I mean, Koivunen doesn't really have that much defense side to him either. That's another like he's not going to be on a penalty kill. I think they're really just kind of hoping that he gets his offensive game going and he moves up in the lineup. Those projected lines, as I mean, it's interesting to me to see. It's always weird seeing Malkin on the wing now because he's been center his whole career, but Novak is the center now, Malkin on the wing, which is fine. It gives Malkin less responsibility. But yeah, no, I mean, Koivunen, I feel like he could bounce, but I mean, he just has to get his game going. Other than that, or he's going to stay there, or they're going to send him to Wilkes-Barre again. And if you just got an 8 year deal, you should not be in Wilkes-Barre anymore at this stage in your career. If you just got 8 years, so yeah, I don't know. I mean, the he liked to change the lineup pretty frequently when they would start slumping. So I could see Kuzmenko bouncing up. I could see what's it called? Chinikov, he ended the season with Crosby on the top line, and they moved Raquel down. And that's interesting because I don't know if they're keeping Raquel. There's a lot of rumors still that he's going to get traded, and now I'm seeing stuff that Carlson even potentially might be on the move. But that one's going to take a little bit more working around with the no move and all that. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, Koivunen, he could be a second line winger if he gets his game in where they think he is. I mean, you don't trade Jake Ensel for a guy that you don't expect to be a guy. So I just think he had to have a great off season, and he'll hopefully get his game going this season. And if he starts slow, it's going to be concerning. Because like I said, I mean, you're not just going to be able to dump a guy that's got 2 goals on an 8-year contract.
Yeah, I mean, Dan Muse pretty much has to give him every opportunity to make this roster, and I mean, if it doesn't happen, I mean, it would be a remarkably bad look if he doesn't make the roster. It wouldn't be the end of the world if he goes back to Wilkes-Barre Scranton, but you also got like McGroarty who plays the wing, right?
Yeah.
So this kind of blocks McGroarty, who I believe is like your top prospect over Koivunen.
Hmm.
I don't see Dewar dropping out of the lineup or like you guys taking out Dewar because he played those fourth line minutes last year that were like so
No,
valuable.
Dewar's a guy that you want on a team like that fourth line glue guy. Like he's definitely not gonna drop out of the lineup for either Koivunen or Rucker. And I mean Rucker, I don't know. That's a interesting situation. I guess it'll depend on his rookie camp on if he'll start the season with the Penguins or if he'll go back to Wilkes-Barre for another year.
Yeah, I mean, well, he had I'm not completely locked into the AHL, but I believe didn't he have like I know the Scranton Penguins had a good run in like the Calder playoffs. I do know like he had a couple big goals.
Yeah,
Um,
no, he definitely showed progression this season for sure, and it looks promising. But again, I don't know if he's fully there yet, especially with them giving Koivunen that contract and then they brought in Robertson. So it does kind of hinder your chances of bringing somebody from Wilkes-Barre up. But I will say, Muse is a better coach for Koivunen because Mike Sullivan probably really wouldn't have started him. Mike Sullivan didn't really. It was funny because when he started as a Penguin, when we were winning the cups, all he did was give the young kids a chance, and at the end of his tenure, he really didn't give any of them a chance. So Muse definitely has the better coaching style, I guess, for Koivunen to show that if he's got it, he's got it. So.
yeah, I mean, like being a junior and like an AHL coach for pretty much like a large portion of his career definitely helps with that. I guess. I mean, since we have the lineup out right now, like for you, like what's your realistic expectation? Like looking at this roster, is there a guy you can see taking a dip in their season from their production last year? Obviously Kindle had a great rookie season. Um, I guess what's your realistic expectation for this roster as it stands right now? See there. I think we might have lost him. Let me see. My guy may be frozen. All right, let me see. Oh, he's back. Is he?
I'm
I don't know.
here.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my screen froze. My bad, dude.
No, no, you're good. What's it called? I see them. I feel like they're like the third, like they were last year. I feel like they would be the third team in the division or a wild card team. I think that, again that they're trying to hope like Kuzmenko has like a breakout season finally, and he's like the replacement for Mantha because you need a replacement for that 30 goals, and I think that's who they're trying to get. But then, I feel like Kendall will take another step forward in his progression, and Koivunen, that's the goal. Hopefully he gets there, and if not, I guess maybe you do bring up Rucker, give him a shot again. And then there were some other guys that had some shining like moments, like Avery Hayes. He did pretty good when he was up. So I don't know. I mean, I feel like they should be a playoff team again. I don't see why they wouldn't unless there's some like catastrophic injury, like one of the stars or the goaltending just falls off the rails. Because it seems like we're going with Seelovs and Mershop, which I'm fine with. I have hopes for both of them, and I'm very curious to see how Mershop plays in NHL. So I don't know. It's like it's a weird stage in the franchise right now because you really are prepping for it to be a full like rebuild soon within the next 3 years max. I see. So but no, I feel like they should make the playoffs, and if not, I wouldn't really be too surprised if they didn't make it. So
Yeah, I think I think like middle of the road. I mean, for the Flyers, I think it's kind of the same thing where like no result would like seriously surprise me if they missed or make it. Um, but yeah, the biggest question for me is, it's very hard for like a rookie goaltender to go in. Obviously, he's not going to be the starter role. You know, for all intents and purposes, he's put in there to be the backup unless something, unless there's an injury to Shelov's or his game falls off, which I don't expect it. I think Shelov's is a good goalie, but that to me is like if there is a weakness on this roster, I do wonder if there's a move in the middle of the season to bring in a goalie because I think you still want to shield Mershov as much as possible because goalies do take a long time. Um, there are goalies out there. I mean, like, and obviously, I don't see the Penguins going after Connor Hellebuck necessarily, but he is a name that's available. And I know Jordan Binnington is also a name that's available. But you seem confident with Shelovs and Mershov?
Yeah, yeah. What I mean, Silas showed that he's got the because he split the time with Jordan Skinner last year, and then at some point he was the starter. So I think the Penguins really do have full confidence in Silas, and I truly do too. But at Mershov, you're taking a gamble making your backup a rookie. I feel Kyle again last year. He made a lot more moves early on in the season prior to the deadline. Yeah, I think he was the most active GM like during the season. He was the most active. I think getting Chinikov and whatnot mid-season, and that was early on. So I feel like if we start faltering and he really thinks that's the issue, I could see Dubas going out mid-season early on and trying to acquire a goaltender if he
Yeah,
feels that we need to.
it's definitely going to be like a middle of the season move if things go pretty poorly. But I have enough faith in Shelovs that I think he's going to hold things down for the most part. Um, yeah. Any other thoughts on? I mean, it's very it's, the Koivunen contract's still so odd to me, but I don't know. Any other thoughts on where the team stands right now?
No, I mean that was really the main thing that we were waiting on. Like every other UFA that we we had already had signed. So it was really just wondering what they're doing with Koivunen because I had seen like they weren't going to even give him a contract. They were going to wait till see his off season and then go from there. But then just out of nowhere, bam, here's 8 years. So no, I mean I really don't. I guess we'll just see how it plays out. I just really hope that he just needs to get it going. I know it's year one, but I mean you can't you can't give a guy a contract longer than Mary Lemieux and then just go, oh, we hope he pans out.
Some massive, massive expectations now. I mean, it's just yeah, that's certainly a unique contract. I don't think that's
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen one where a guy's got 2 goals in his career and now he's got 8 years at 4 million. But I guess if I guess we gotta have faith in Kyle here. We're gonna
I
hope
don't think
anyway.
I don't think I've ever seen a term that's higher than his career point a player's career point total, unless it's like a
Yeah,
goaltender.
yeah. No, it's something. It's definitely like I said, when I read that 8 years, I was like, no, that can't be right. Eight? That can't be. That has to be like one of the dollar amounts, but no. So we'll see.
That's I mean that's like Toronto Dubas waking up.
He can stay asleep. I'm good. That was my biggest fear. Hey man, you remember when we signed him? We were in Washington D.C. We're in a hotel room. I dropped on my knees actually, and I
Whoa,
don't
what
want
Paul?
Kyle. But so far it's worked out. The only, like I said, the only thing is that Graves problem that we still have to figure out what we're doing with because I guess we could keep sending him to the minors. It's worked.
Yeah, we'll see. It's going to be a weird season. Someone tells me, I mean, with how chaotic this offseason was. Now we got 84 games. It's certainly going to be it's going to be a unique season, especially the early start. It's gonna be so funny that September's gonna have football and hockey. I know it's the final day of September the season starts, but it's gonna be
Not
quite
used to
strange.
the preseason starting then.
Yeah, and we have a shortened preseason, which I'm happy about. I think there's only
Yeah.
3 preseason games.
No, that's better anyway.
Yeah,
It's
the
only like
preseason doesn't matter.
no. No, I mean you just kind of gave your like developmental kids the first four and then the last three you brought your actual team out. So
Yeah. All right, I guess we'll transition into some Flyers talk a little bit. Not a whole lot. I mean, they did take care of an RFA winger. They had Nikita Gurbankin to a 2-year, $1 million contract. Which he's a fourth liner. He's going to be getting fourth line money. I'm more worried about his health because uh, I think Briere in his exit interview said like he had I believe it was a shoulder injury late in the season. Gurbankin had, and Briere was almost alluding to the idea that he might not be ready for the start of the season. Um, but I mean, Mr. Poke check, back check. Sorry.
we're we're good.
Back check, forecheck, paycheck. He got one out of the three. But there's just so many wingers on this team. It's almost similar to Koivunen and McGroarty almost blocking each other for Pittsburgh. But I did want to pull up the depth chart for the Flyers if I could. So as it stands right now, they don't even have Gurbankin fit into the picture. At most points of the season, he was playing on that left wing spot. When there were a couple injuries, especially when like Forster went down, he did slide up a little bit, and it's around the time Barkey got in there. But I don't. The thing is, I like Gurbankin in that fourth line role because he is a bit of a pest. He's an energy guy, and the thing with Barkey and Bump, like Bump's got like an excellent shot. I don't really want a guy who's only 22 with an excellent shot on that fourth line. I don't think that benefits his game. At the same time, I don't want Barkey on that fourth line either because I just don't like the idea of a 21-year-old that's like 5'8", 5'9", playing a fourth line role. Especially because it looks like they're going to keep the identity of a fourth line that really took picture in late in the season that was so effective in the playoffs with Coots at center and then basically replacing Hathaway with Noel Acciari, which is absolutely an upgrade from a points perspective. And it's like the fact that you can just Couturier gets kicked out of the dot, you can slide Acciari right in. He can win the faceoff just as well. So I'm interested to see if Gurbankin starts the season at all, if he's ready for training camp and if he's ready for the beginning of the season, whether he even gets time this year. But I really don't want either Barkey or Bump missing time or playing a fourth line role. So it's going to be really difficult, like trying to fit these guys in. And I mean, just looking at it now, I don't expect Zegras to be the second line center. I expect him to move up. I guess I'll get in my expectations as well. I fully expect Zegras to be like the first line center. You can't really roll out Dvorak as like your top playmaker, as your top first line center. In like a perfect world, he would be like a third line center on like a cup contending team, but obviously the Flyers are not at that stage yet. And if I honestly, I could see this first line and the second line being flipped, where I can see Forster, Zegras, Martone being the top line, slotting Tippett, Dvorak connecting down to the second line. And then I think Barkey, Cates, Mishkov makes a lot of sense, especially because Cates and Mishkov had really good chemistry on that third line. But I expect at some point Mishkov gets moved up, and that's going to be the biggest storyline going into the season is how seriously Mishkov took the summer. Can him and Tocchet mend fences a little bit? That's gonna be massive going into training camp, which is coming up. It's got only 2 or 3 weeks away. We're in early August. I believe Mishkov's back from Russia. I think he's going to be in Voorhees pretty soon. It looked like he had an effective summer, really taking care of himself. Had a hat trick in like this Russian charity game. Looked like he was in the gym. It looked like Rocky IV. He was in the gym with like 20 different Russians. It was like him, Panarin. I think Kuzmenko was in there too, where it was just like 20 Russians just lifting, which is this is very funny. But it looked like he had a productive summer. I still have so much faith in Mishkov. I'm interested to see where his point total lands. I don't think it's out of the question he can be a 70-point scorer this year. I've talked myself and my delusions into thinking he could be a 75 to 80-point scorer this year, but I don't know if he'll have the minutes or what kind of shape he'll be in. He's definitely going to be in better shape than last year. And he finished strong last year. I mean, he was at a point per game finish after the Olympics. Obviously had the really bad playoff run where he sat the last game for Jet Luchenko, which is horrendous. Which is, I mean, to stay on Luchenko, they're going to give him every opportunity, much like Koivunen, to make this team. But I just simply don't think there's room for him. And I just simply don't think he's very good. Not to be a super pessimist, not to be like a massive doubter, but I mean, he's not better at bump at this stage. He's not. You need a veteran in your lineup. You can't just run out a bunch of guys like under 25. So he's not like Achari's not coming out for him, and you're certainly not taking your captain out of the lineup to play Jet Luchenko. So he's going to start his season in Lehigh Valley. I don't know what's going on with that, to be honest with you. And he did switch. He played for I think 3 different junior teams last year, including some games with the Phantoms and the Flyers. So he essentially played for 4 or 5 different teams in one season, which I mean, I can't be easy to develop like that. You know, like we never played the game at this level, but that's got to be pretty difficult. Just like moving around, like he was living out of a hotel the entire year. But yeah, I don't know. I don't see a huge upside with that, unfortunately. Especially because we see Helenius for Buffalo, who they could have picked in that spot, had a really good playoffs. Uh, Plays the same position, and it seems like he's going to be like a top 6 center for them already. And then Luchenko's still trying to find his way into the lineup, but I'll try to stay optimistic, but it's going to be really difficult for me. But yeah, that's I guess just my thoughts in a window where we're still 50 days away from the season. Which still it seems like it's going to be a long time, but it's going to fly, and the season's going to be right here, and I'm really excited for it. But I'll take that down. We'll transition to our final segment. We're gonna start doing our predictions. We're 7 weeks out, like I just said. So we're gonna start with individual awards for our predictions that neither of us I think will remember by the time they actually get handed out. And then we're gonna get into division predictions. Then we'll close out with our way out of the window, like very early cup predictions. But we're gonna start today with the Norris for the award for best defenseman of the 26-27 season. Last year, Zach Werenski won for Columbus, which was obviously very well deserved. He was a runner-up in 24-25. And the runners-up last year was Makar, I believe, finished second, and then Dahlin was third. Where are you leaning right now, Steven, with your 3 finalists?
So there's a I feel like it's a harder trophy to hand out than usual. Like I feel like the like couple years prior it was like down to like two or three like same names every year, but now I feel like the defensive position has expanded so much and it's so like I know they mainly focus on points. Like that's like always what their main thing is, and they don't really focus mostly on like, the defensive side of the game. But there's so many offensive defensemen in the league at this stage now that it's not down that like I mean, you got Makar, you got Heiskanen, you got Werenski, you got Dahlin, you got Bouchard, now you have Schaefer. Like there's just so many now that just have that upside. I mean, I'm not I mean, you never know. Now you got play people in Newfield. I didn't even say Quinn.
Yeah.
So like, there's just so many. It's so hard to actually narrow it down. But I feel like I don't know. I feel like the Avalanche are gonna have a make a bounce back season. I think Makar will take his place as the number one defenseman in the league again. I just feel like the Avalanche. They've been, I guess, lackluster for their standards the last year or two, and I feel like they'll get it going this year, like fully again on track. I feel like it's been like McKinnon and McCarr, like they're just seeing them in person. Like I've been at plenty of games. They just play the game differently, and you always know they're on the ice because you can hear their strides, which I don't know if like, as many times as I've seen Sid and all them play, like you just you feel and hear the deep cuts of their turns and the speed that they play at. I just feel like the Avalanche are gonna get it back going, and McCarr is gonna um, take back the number one defenseman in the league. I would say runner up. I would probably go with Quinn, and then I'd probably go with Zach. I feel like Darlene will be right there too. And I feel like Schaefer I feel like he'll blow up even more, and I feel like he'll be on that cusp to be arguably in that argument every year, starting after this season.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's funny because when we say like when we think like bounce back for like the Avalanche, it's like they looked like they looked like an all-star team in the regular season, and like obviously they walked away with the President's Trophy. There's that weird curse, if you want to believe in it or not. And just to get swept by the Golden Knights and just look as lackluster as they did in the conference final. Um, I also think, yeah, I don't expect them to win the President's Trophy again. I do expect a more effective playoffs from them, at least to win a game in the conference finals. Which I guess I mean they haven't won a game in the conference finals since they won the cup because they got knocked out by Dallas. Yeah, knocked out by Dallas twice.
I know they did once. I don't know. I can't remember.
I can remember because that there was that Rantanen revenge game, which was sick. Like
Yeah.
Rantanen had the hat trick just to put him away. That was a great series. The thing with it's so funny with the Central because it's like the three. It's like Colorado, Dallas, Minnesota, like might be the three best teams like in the league this year, and they just beat each other up, and then like the the team who makes it out of the Pacific bracket of like the West ends up just go to the Cup final because the other three teams are had just demolish each other. Um, but I also think McCarr is going to be a finalist this year. I don't have him as my winner necessarily. Um, and my other finalist that I've been going back and forth with, I think it's tough because I'm such a huge fan of Darlene. I love Rasmus Dahlin's game. Ski over my shoulder. We were talking about Swedes a couple weeks ago. I mean, he's probably the best Swedish player in the world right now. Um, but I think with the season Montreal had, and with how just how like fast and skilled their power play is, I think just from a points perspective, Lane Hudson becomes a finalist this year. And for his defensive game, his plus minus this year was a plus 34, I believe, which is tremendous for a second year player. Calder winner. Almost feel like he didn't get talked about enough last year with how good Montreal was. I mean, Suzuki walked away with the Selke. Suzuki's another one of my favorite players. So I think, that power play is going to be probably top 3, top 5 in the league, I imagine. Got Caulfield, Slavkovsky, Demidov. You even have Dobson on like the second power play, and then Suzuki to just be the facilitator on that. I think they're just. I expect big things from Montreal this year, and especially Lane Hudson, which is just such a good pair. I mean, Lane Hudson and Noah Dobson together. It's funny how I was thinking about this the other day. The Islanders have sent 2 defensemen to be a pair with like 2 of the most skilled offensive defensemen like in the league, where they sent Devon Taves to Colorado to share a line with Makar. Then they just sent Dobson to Montreal to play with Lane Hudson. They're just doing teams favors left and right, but I obviously don't see them sending Schaefer anywhere. Yeah, I think the winner of the Norris this year is going to be Quinn Hughes. I do worry a little bit because there's such a, I wouldn't say there's a target on his back necessarily, but they've just, him and his brother have been everywhere this year. They're showing up at concerts, they're showing up on SNL. They're basically celebrities at this point, much like the Kachuk brothers. So I don't know if that spotlight is going to necessarily fare well with this game, but it's also the same reason why I think Lane Hudson's going to have such a good season is that power play for Minnesota is going to be amazing with Kaprizov, Boldy. He's probably going to have Eriksson Ek as the center on that power play, where they're just going to be scoring so many goals. And Quinn only finished with 7 goals last year. The one season he did win the Norris, which was 23-24, I believe. He's only had 2 seasons where he's had double-digit goals. The 22-23 season, which he finished as the second place winner, that was when Erik Karlsson went absolutely nuts and had 102 points, which was his best season with San Jose. No other player on earth was winning the Norris that year. But it's surprising to me that Quinn Hughes has only had double-digit scoring years in 2 of his seasons. But I think all he needs to do is score 12 or 13 goals and then keep the same number of assists. He's going to be like an 80-point scorer. And that doesn't seem like asking for a whole lot, considering he's going to have a full season with Minnesota now. There's not going to be that weird turnover phase. He's going to have more chemistry with the team. And he's also in a contract year, which I don't think he should sign an extension. One for, my own personal reasons, which are not going to happen. But also, he can get more money this way. If he finishes with the Norris, he can, that's a pretty good pay raise. So we'll see what happens there. I think, Bill Guerin's got his work cut out for him, but I guess where do you think he signs an extension? Do you think he hits free agency?
I'm starting to think he's in free agency, honestly. I don't know. I feel like they would have, if they weren't, if he was going to stay, I feel like they would have signed him to the extension before the season starts. Granted, there is like 50 days, you said, but I feel like the longer it drags out, the less likely it is for him to re-sign there.
Yeah, it makes sense from I don't know. It's going to be a massive contract because Makar needs to get paid too. And I can see those 2 guys a lot like the NFL's a lot like this, where the players wait because usually if you're the last guy to get paid, you're the player that's going to make the most money. So we just saw this with a couple of running backs where a guy got $25 million a year, the other guy signed a couple of days later for $25.8 million a year. So
that's what Macklin just did.
Yeah. It's just like a small amount of difference, and it's like all it does is just get bragging rights, really. But I can see, Makar's obviously, they're both probably going to get around like 15, 16 million. I don't think that would surprise anybody.
Oh, I could see more. I could honestly
You
see
see
like
more?
there. I could legit see like 20 for those type of players.
Yeah, I mean those are. I mean they're kind of changing the way defensemen play, just with their speed, their skill. It's like ridiculous how these guys play now. But we'll see. I think it's yeah. Obviously, Dahlin's going to be in that picture again. I'm rooting for him. I'm rooting for Buffalo. I don't know if they're going to have as successful of a season because it's really hard to. I mean, they finished with the most points in the Atlantic, which was the most competitive division last year. Um, there's a chance for Schaefer. I think there's definitely better of a chance for Schaefer. I mean, the fact he scored 23 goals last year, and they're going to be leaning on him like even more because they're not going to. I don't think their offense is going to be very good. They traded Anders Lee, or no, they just didn't re-sign him. They're lacking serious offense. I mean, if he scores 30 goals, it's going to be hard to not give him a finalist vote. I mean, uh, when was the last? I mean, McCarr scored 30 goals a couple of seasons ago, right?
I think so.
Yeah, and then I mean, he won the Norris that year. So,
Hmm.
I think we could both see that happening, which is
Oh,
insane
absolutely.
to think about.
I don't think it happens this year, but absolutely at some point. Like I
He's
could say
absolutely going to
next
win
year.
one, and I think Dahlin wins one. It's just so it's you're right, Steven. Like, there's just so many elite defensemen right now that it's hard to get in. We didn't like we you mentioned Bouchard, who scored the most points of any defenseman last year.
Yep. Yeah,
It's
no, it's
crazy.
crazy because like when I first started, it was like Victor Hedman, Duncan Keith, Eric Carlson, and that was it. It was the same names every year. But now, I mean, literally, you got like eight you could pick from.
Yeah, it's loaded, man. And like you said, Heiskanen, he didn't play a full season last year. We'll see what happens with that. Werenski could obviously, he's the defending champ. We didn't even mention Werenski, but I think there's just so much weird energy going around with what happened with him in Columbus this offseason. And then, leading into it, who knows what the hell happens. Bonus called out all the guys, and it seemed like Werenski didn't like it. It seems like, I mean, they might trade Marchenko. It's a weird situation in Columbus. So I would probably, I mean, he's going to finish top five most likely, but I don't know if the production for Wensky is going to be there that there was this year. There's Adam Fox too.
Yeah,
Um, it's just there's so many good defensemen out there, man. Yeah, it's gonna be who can quarterback the best power play.
yeah,
Um, if it wasn't, I mean, if it wasn't a points award, then Jacob Slavin would have like two or three Norris trophies right now.
yeah,
But
for absolutely.
there's Jake Sanderson in Ottawa. Sanderson could absolutely get there. Um,
Hey, if Carlson performs like he did at the end of last season, the whole season, he's up
yeah,
there.
he finished top five this year in voting. He absolutely. He's 36. He finished top five in voting. It's crazy. Um, maybe an outside one. I mean, if we're talking about good power plays, I mean, John Carlson's going to be sliding into Darren Radish's spot. I mean, if you play on a line with Kucherov and Gensel and Braden Point, I mean, that's a point factory. It's possible. It's not out of the realm of,
No,
it's really possible. It does stink a little bit because Carlson's such a good player that he will be one of the best defensemen to never win a Norris.
yeah,
There was a season, I don't remember what year it was specifically, where like it felt like he definitely could have won, and I think Roman Yossi ended up winning, which was well deserved. Yossi's awesome, which I think we're both huge fans of Roman Yossi. So, um, and it's a lot of these guys only win one because there's so much heavy talent. McCarr's got three, I think. Quinn Hughes only has one. Werenski just got his first. We'll see. It's gonna be interesting how this shakes out. We can probably sit here for 20 minutes naming guys who can easily get that spot. Bo Byram,
Mm-hmm.
13 million Bo Byram. I don't know if we're fully expecting that one, but
If Bo Byron wins the Norris in Chicago this year, I think Chicago has a bright future. But I don't know. I think we're pushing it with that one.
and Kyle Davidson looks like a genius.
No. Yeah, no, he would. Hey man, he got the highest paid defenseman. He got the best one, I guess, too.
Yeah, I mean that would be pretty impressive.
Yeah,
Yeah, but we can keep going on and on just thinking about defensive who going to win it. But it is crazy that we're in a world where like 8 or 10 guys could realistically win it. Um, what's funny because like the heart, it's just gonna be McDavid, McKinnon, and Kucherov
Kucherov. Yeah.
like for the past like 3 or 4 years.
Celebrini's in that now.
Yeah, he is. He really is, which is insane that he literally just kicked the door down for the league.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. No, I mean
insane.
he was projected to be good, but not where he
Not
is.
the I mean he's the future of the sport, like we said before. And if San Jose makes the playoffs, which we'll get into predictions, but just like alluding to what we're gonna say, I do expect San Jose to be a playoff team this year. And I think that was the only thing that held Celebrini back from being one of the 3 finalists was that San Jose didn't make the playoffs. So he's absolutely going to be in the mix. This league, I mean, there's going to be so many freaks coming into this league with Celebrini and Schaefer, the past 2 number 1 picks, and we'll see what McKenna does. Yeah, it's going to be. This league is so fast now; it's crazy. It's not what we grew up watching.
No. Now the speed when we grew up is not the speed that we have now. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's good. These dudes are freaks. And like Jack Hughes could obviously be in the hard conversation too, but we'll get to that in a couple weeks. I'll let you pick now that we're here. We haven't talked about this. So next week we're going to get into another individual award. Would you rather follow up with Vesna predictions or Calder predictions for next week?
Probably do Vesna.
Vesna, all right. I should have known you would have gone with the goalie award. I should have known that. Yeah, we'll have that for you guys next week. We'll have Vesna predictions. We'll have a couple questions for our teams. We'll have like a slow burn into the season. Try to pace ourselves. We'll have some weird stuff to talk about for sure. Any closing thoughts for you, Steven?
Um, Hang tight. We're almost there. It'll be here before you know it. So, and all the news that we get now is kind of just weird, kind of make you chuckle news. Unless you're a Penguins fan, then you're really just kind of shaking your head like what? But
Make you gasp news.
yeah, but no, I mean it'll be here before you know it. We'll be at the Xfinity Mobile Arena for Game 1 in no time.
Yes, yes, we will. And when we see you next time, it'll be 6 weeks until it starts, and then it's just week by week. We'll get there, and then by the time school year comes around, it's going to be here pretty quickly. I'm getting excited. Definitely getting excited. Um, we should temper it a little bit because it will feel like a super long wait. It's always like the last few days. You'll be
Hmm.
like 5 days away. Those 5 days away feel like you're like 2 months away, like where we are now. But we appreciate you joining us. Thanks as always. We will see you next week. Vesna predictions, like we said. Take it easy. We hope you have a great week. Stay positive, and we'll see you guys later. Thank you.